Physical therapy for me started after like many people in our profession, a knee injury. When I was playing football in high school, I had a knee injury and had surgery. I had to go to physical therapy, and like many young patients, I did nothing that I was supposed to do. And I had a really, cool physical therapist that when I came back after a couple of weeks, he could tell I wasn't doing anything. It's pretty obvious. And he put me on basically an air bike, and he had me do sprints on it until I puked in a trash can. And while I was throwing up in the trash can, he whispered in my ear, he goes, "Are you gonna do your homework now?" And I thought to myself, I was like, this seems like a cool career. Not that we make everybody throw up, but I was like, this is great. This guy gets to help people get back to sports, and I was doing the wrong thing. He put me in my place, and I learned more about the profession from there. So I spent 7 years in the Army as a physical therapist. I would see anywhere between 15 and maybe 30 people a day, patients a day. And it's just really unsustainable. It's just a lot of paperwork. You don't get to see people very frequently. And I felt like I just wanted to work with people in a manner where, I was like one-on-one with them. We were working through this problem together, and I couldn't do that in the setting that I was in. So in the summer of 2014, my time was finished, and I decided to get out and open a practice in Atlanta, in a corner of a CrossFit gym, in an office with no windows, with a rat above my head. We were able to grow past ourselves to a couple of providers within the first 2 to 3 years. That's when we started to have a lot of people reach out to us asking us what the heck we were doing. Because for the most part, around the country, people were not scaling this business. They weren't really growing past themselves, and we didn't really think it was anything special. We just were solving more problems, and we got busy. We brought other people on, and then the same thing happened with them. PT Biz came out of unintentionally, succeeding in one area and people asking for help. What we found was if we could group people together, they could kind of share some of these things. They could share what they were doing with each other, as well as develop, some cool friendships. So we took a group of 6 businesses the first year and took them through a year with us, where we got them together, we got them on calls together, got them in person together, and worked with them one-on-one as well. And we just saw really, phenomenal changes in their business.
When I was working as a full-time athletic trainer at a high school, and running my business as just like a small side hustle, I knew that I wanted to grow it into something bigger. So I was on Instagram one day. I had followed a couple of other athletic trainers. One of them actually posted something on their story and tagged PT Biz. So I clicked on that profile, which brought me to Danny's profile. And I was just kind of looking around and saw what they did. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is what I need to help me get to that next step.
I had no experience at all with how to start a business. Just went out of school, was like, I'm gonna be a great clinician. That's all I wanna do. Had no intention of being an entrepreneur or a business owner. So I said, I know I need mentorship and learn how to set up an LLC, how to create a website, how to create all these things that you really need. So I think that the Clinical Rainmaker was a great stepping stone on the first step of just how to sell, how to market, which I had no idea how to do that stuff. How to, create a website, how to just talk to people. Where out of school, I was very I'm not looking you in the eyes, and how to actually sell something. And
grew from 6 businesses to now we work with about 200 across the country, internationally as well. And we get a chance to get 120 businesses together in a forum like this, and it's really cool because they're all working on similar problems, and they're all actively just trying to help people. We're helping people with a physical problem avoid surgery in many cases, and get back to the physical activities they enjoy doing, with the vehicle that's their vehicle in life, is their body, with the people they enjoy, being around. So
I look back at when I started the Clinical Rainmaker program, I was making, I don't know, $1,000 a month maybe. And it was just a side hustle, They doubled my monthly income by the time. So I started Clinical Rainmaker in April. And by the time I finished it in June, which I was still working a full-time job, I hit my first 10K month in June. And that was only implementing 2 or 3 things.
Once you learn and understand that you're not selling a car, you're selling somebody's life back. Of, oh, now I can play golf. Now I can pick up my grandson and pick him over my head. Like, that's huge. And I think a lot of people, once they realize it's not just we're just doing this to make money, but actually help people, then the wheels start to turn and they're like, oh, these are skills I need to have in order to be successful in this kind of setting.
What we would like to see people be able to do is really grow businesses that are impactful, they're making a difference, but also are creating a opportunity for them to experience life with their friends and family in this really unique way. And I think if you ask anybody, would you rather have more money or more time? Most people are probably gonna pick time. It's like, what's the trade-off worth, right? Like how much money would you give up to, have an extra weekend with your kids, right? It's hard to say what, I don't even know what you'd equate that with. It's not even comparable. So, we want people to be able to develop businesses that they don't become their life, they support their life.
My why is my family and time freedom with my family. I have this envisioned picture of what it looked like down the road for me to really just spend time with the people that I love, which is my family. And so that ultimately drives me each and every day, each and every week, just to continue and to push.
It's not going to be worthwhile if you don't know why you're doing it. So I think that was something that I really had to dig in on, and I think that the PT Biz crew does a good job of making you, really focus on that. It's like, why are you doing this? Because there are going to be hard days. There's been some really long days. I had to look at everything and go, well, hey, dude, you just put $200,000, into your education, and you did that for 6 years to become a provider, right? Like, awesome. That helped you develop a specific skill set. You're trying to get this business going, but you haven't put any money or real time into learning to be a good businessman, right? Like how to actually and effectively run a business. And so it was like, all right, this is a little investment, but in comparison, to how much I spend, it's not even 2.5% of an investment, compared to my student loan balance. It's like, it's a fraction of what I spend. So, hey, let's just add that on top and maybe really boost up my revenue and my earning potential, which will, ultimately allow me to have a lot more positive experiences, a lot more freedom time-wise, a lot more financial freedom, and also eventually extend those opportunities to other people.
If anybody's thinking about getting some help on their business and they're on the fence and they're skeptical, please do. Be skeptical. And I think for me, every time I look to invest in business, which I do actively every year, but I'm vetting people and I'm talking to people that are involved in other organizations. Do your homework, see what the right fit for you is. Look at who we work with and what they're doing, and you'll probably get a good idea of what that looks like. And if it's the right fit, let's have a conversation. We can talk to our team and we'll see if it is. And if it's not, we'll put you in touch with somebody that would be a better fit. For us, it really comes down to that. We want to work with the right people, and if it's not the right fit, it's kind of impatient. If they come in to see me and it's like, you're not the right fit for me, but I'm going to hand you off to somebody that is, that's the right thing to do. It's the way we should work with people. That's what we do as well. So if you're skeptical, that's great. I'm skeptical too.